Odin is a solo jungle support and maybe even mid-god that generally plays frontline. He has shields and movement that allows him to survive for long periods. He can buff himself and his teammates for fights, and also lock down enemies with both his CC and his cage. He's simple, but you don't want to run in just thinking he's unkillable. So let me, a Grandmaster Smite 1 player and Demigod Smite 2 player, tell you how to play him the best you can. Before we start though, remember this is a beta, so things are subject to change. If Odin or any other god receives significant changes, I will remake this guide for you. Also, we hit 1,000 subs, so I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I'm making a community post and making a channel in my Discord, link below, and the comments on this video, unless they are related specifically to the god, will be answered in that video. You have until next Monday, June 9th to ask, so please do. Now, with that out of the way, let's begin. Odin's passive, Path to Valhalla, gives Odin movement speed, strength, and intelligence temporarily when a god dies. Numbers on the screen now. This is when any god dies, not an enemy god. It's all gods. This buff lasts for 10 seconds and stacks twice. If a third god dies while you have 2 stacks, this buff refreshes, as opposed to it stacking another time. Odin's first ability, Lunge, is a leap that does damage in a circle where he lands. This ability combos with his second ability, but I'll explain that when I get there. Odin's jump is a bit slow, especially when you jump in place, so you could use it to buy yourself some time or to avoid abilities while waiting for your other cooldowns. But you don't want to move away from the enemy. The landing circle is also quite large, so you don't have to land directly on your target to deal damage. It also has really high base numbers, so keep that in mind if you're playing for an early kill. Odin's second ability, Raven Shout, is a shield that stays on you for a short duration before exploding. This shield scales with both strength and intelligence, but better with intelligence. If you combine this with your jump, it explodes on impact. This is what a lot of people call the bird bomb. This is your main damage tool for most of the game. However, without the jump, it is a massive safety net. The shield will not explode if enough damage is dealt to you, but will disappear like any other shield. The shield's damage is based on how much health you have left with the shield on. You deal bonus damage if you have a full health shield when you're jumping, or if it explodes with full health. A few tricks for you. Timing your shield while walking up to camps allows you to clear quickly. The side harpies are very easy to clear with this method, if you have enough points into it at that point in the game. You can also use it if you're not interrupted, to recall in the middle of a wave. Just 2 and start backing. The shield will explode before your back finishes, and you'll clear the wave. You can also shield before blinking, using Xerxes Hexstone or other methods of movement to prime it before you go in. Odin's third ability, Gungnir's Smite, is pretty similar to how it worked in Smite 1 if you played that. You hold up your spear, and a circle around you pulses twice. After the first pulse, you could throw the spear, giving yourself and allies within the circle attack speed. This is great for shredding objectives with your carry or early buff clear for yourself. After the second pulse, your spear will stun enemies hit by it. Only the first god hit will be stunned, but any minions hit by it will be stunned regardless of any god hit before it. The spear goes through gods and minions to hit targets behind them within range. Like I said before, the first god hit gets stunned. Any gods hit afterwards do not get stunned. Which means, as a wave clear tool, it can't be blocked by gods anymore. However, it is stopped by walls. You can hold the spear for literally the entire game if you want to, but you can't use any other abilities or basic attack while holding it. This is a channel, so it can be interrupted by certain CCs. However, you can also immune certain things, like Cerberus and Ares ultimate, or Hercules too, because you are displacement immune. However, displacements that have another CC front-loaded onto them still have an effect on you, like Hercules one, because it is a stun that hits you first, followed by a push. So you are displaced after being stunned, which interrupts the channel. Odin's ultimate, Ring of Spears, is a big circle that he brings down. It is a player-made wall, which means Phantom Shell can be used by enemies to get out of it. Same with Helm of Darkness. Allies and you can walk through it at any time. Each section of the ring has these dots on them, which represent a health bar. A basic attack from enemies will deal 1 health damage to these walls, and they will break after 5 hits. If an enemy leaves the ring by any means other than a destroyed section of the wall, they will have a spear which follows them. When it hits them, it will slow them and deal damage. While in the ring, enemies cannot heal, have reduced strength and intelligence. This happens regardless of whether or not a wall is broken. If a wall is broken and they're still in the area of the ring, they still have these effects on them. A few more notes with the ring. The ring does not block ally abilities or projectiles. Only enemy gods' movements and basic attacks. The ring has 8 parts, which each have 5 health previously mentioned, regardless of ability rank. If an enemy dies in Odin's cage, regardless of if Odin is inside of it or not, he will gain a permanent strength and intelligence buff. When inside the ring, Odin is immune to slows and roots. Regardless of role, Odin is a frontliner. When you build him damage or tank, he likes to shield himself from damage and trap those who he can. You typically want to try and force out the enemy's means of escape before you cage to secure the kill. However, using it to deny healing is also perfectly acceptable. You can also use it as a zoning tool to block off an area completely or keep people locked in to prevent them from going to an objective or to allies, or to block off an escape. It's a player-made wall. Use it as geometry you can add to the map. You'll want to itemize into cooldown rate, so you can have your shield, ring, and 3-up as often as possible. Items like Pendulum Blade, regardless of role, or Jotun's Revenge in jungle can really help. In support, you'll want to focus more on active items, things you or your teammates will need, such as Talisman of Purification, Stampede, or Xerxes Hexstone. If you're going tank, I recommend going high to the Nemean Lion. It's core to tank builds right now. I recommend these items now. This might not be relevant when you watch this video. It's relevant during the time of its publishing, but it may not be relevant when you're watching. If you want to fact check this information, head to smite2.live. It's linked in the description, and you can see what the top players are building and take what you like from there. It'll be divided up in a role for you. Regardless, I hope this guide helps. And if it does, please consider leaving a like and a sub. Also, remember the Q&A. Until next time, peace.